I've had this love of music since I was a kid, and a couple of my favorite stories are opportunities when I met Elvis when I was little, and when I saw Jimi Hendrix when I was little,
Really?
and saw him twice, and those are really cool stories. Like I mentioned, they got the Springsteen story, the Rolling Stones story, Wonder story, Tom Petty story, Van Halen story, Leonard Skinner story.
It's probably easy to tell the people you didn't have an interaction with.
I know.
I didn't talk to these three people.
Right.
Hey, it's Mike Hobday again. Well, welcome to another episode of Memphis Mike and Friends. Hey, I got the privilege of sitting down some time ago with the one and only Mr. Ron Olson, who has had over 50 years of radio experience here in the city of Memphis. Just an icon in our city. He's currently on WRVR, The River, in the morning, and been there for a while, was on F100 a long time, but just got a lot of neat stories. And we kind of hooked up together and started talking about some good old days over his 50 years. And this particular episode is about a lot of the bands and musicians he had interactions with over the years. Very hilarious stories, as only Ron can tell them. Master storyteller that he is. And so just wanted to share that with everybody. You may have seen these in some shorts I've done over the last several months, but decided to put all this together in one podcast to get it out to everybody so you can hear them all in succession. So it's kind of fun stuff. Hope you enjoy it. And listen to us as we talk to Ron Olson next on Memphis Mike and Friends.
Welcome to Memphis Mike and Friends. Mike and his friends will take you on a journey along memory lane while at the same time discuss current events in and around Memphis and the Mid-South. We will talk Tiger sports, the Grizzlies, and just about every other relevant event in our area. But not just sports. We may ramble on about almost anything. Along the way, you'll hear from Mike. You'll get to know all the friends and meet a lot of interesting people along the way. Here we go with another episode of Memphis Mike and Friends.
All right. Hey, it's good to be on with you. I got to tell you, I think this is the first podcast I've ever been on.
Well, I feel very blessed. That's awesome.
It's pretty cool. And again, I've been doing radio and music. This is actually, I'm celebrating my 50th year in radio.
Are you kidding? What was the date?
June of 1974 is when I started getting a paycheck. Prior to that, I had done college radio. It started out at UT Martin in 71, came back to University of Memphis, worked at their campus station.
Memphis State, right?
Yeah, in Memphis State. And then...
was that WKNO radio at that point? Or
no,
a different one?
It was WTGR at the time.
Okay. Oh, Tiger.
Now... Yeah, I think it might be, it was a jazz station for us, a low wattage FM thing. It was one of these kind of things that the only place you could really hear it was on the speakers in the hall. We used to, can you please turn it on in the student center? So so Martin, then Memphis, and then Rhodes College really got my feet wet over there, and it was their community station, WLYX, back in the day.
So were you studying any at all, or just doing radio?
No, they had a kind of a free-form college radio station. It's one of the best stations I've ever been associated with. It was so magical and volunteer, and the format was whatever you wanted to play. Like you loved one thing, the next guy would do classical, or you would do jazz or bluegrass,
right,
or R&B, whatever you wanted to do. So it was wide open. It was up in the top floor of the Rhodes College gym. If you look at the gym, there's two big towers, right? Mm-hmm. And the one on the left, the very top floor of it was the radio station. And it was really kind of a great, cool, control room and a couple of recording, like a recording studio, big studio. And it was always funny because the way you got in and out of the building was you had to lower the key down on a string. So the person who was coming on after you, then reel it back up. So, and you had to make sure once you lower it down, you bring it back up.
So pretty high tech.
It was high tech.
Very high tech.
But the cool thing about it was a college radio station when there were just a couple of FMs in town. and it was really had a big groundswell of following people. When people discovered it, it was almost I don't know how to describe it. It was like that became their favorite station.
Like a cult.
Yes, and Colts in Midtown. We did. I remember one of our highlights is we had all the artists would come by and do interviews with us. Frank Zappa, Barry Manilow, Minnie Riperton, Earl Scruggs. They all dropped into the station.
Wow.
And we did a benefit one day for it. It was kind of amazing. One big weekend at the Overton Park Shell. And I bet you, I'm not lying, about 10,000 people showed up.
Wow.
And literally passed the bucket in the crowd to, raise money for the radio station or its operation and stuff. So that was pretty cool. So
That'd be hard to do now, passing a bucket. I imagine it wouldn't make it.
Oh, yeah. No, it wouldn't make it. But that was kind of the background. And growing up as a kid in Memphis, I just, I was obsessed with, well, a lot of people are listening to the Beatles. I was listening to R&B and Roy Orbison.
Oh.
And one of my all-time favorite heroes musically to this day still is, and probably the biggest effect on me is Jimi Hendrix. And I just absolutely was enamored with him. So here we go with the stories. And so,
well, wait, back 1 second. So where did you go to school at? What part of town did you live in?
I went to Oak Haven, out of the side of the airport. Okay. And also I'll throw this in there too, that, I had a brother that was 3 years older than me. So he was already buying a lot of records and stuff.
Okay.
And so I got to listen to a lot of his.
The older brother thing. Yeah. My wife my wife has an older brother, and she's ahead of, at least a decade of me in music because of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I had another friend, Ken Demetrio, and his older brother was 10 years older. He had a whole nother, I guess, period of music that he listened to. So there are a lot of early influences. I couldn't get enough of it. I loved it. But the Jimi Hendrix story, by the way, before I get to the very first concert I ever saw in my life was at the Auditorium North Hall, downtown Memphis. I went about 1965 and went to see the Beach Boys, of all people, at the Auditorium North Hall. And I always remember being blown away by that show because the drummer broke one of the heads on his drum set. Now you won't believe how this guy broke a drum head. He was playing so hard. It was crazy.
Oh, goodness.
That was my first concert. Then a couple of years later, in April of '69, I think prior to Woodstock, Jimi Hendrix played the Auditorium North. So back in those days, I think my mom took me and a couple of my buddies to the show and dropped us off downtown.
Yeah.
And
you do that now for different reasons.
Right. They dropped us off.
The 201, usually. It's one of those sessions.
They picked us up right after the show. So at the show, I always believe that George Klein introduced Hendrix.
GK.
Big, massive, like 50-foot curtains that were just, that were closed. And then he starts playing behind the curtains there. He starts playing like Spanish Castle Magic. And Klein introduces him, and the curtains open, and there he was, left-handed, the afro, the headband, the white guitar, playing left-handed. And then it was just like, oh my God, there he is, and he's right in front of us. And
what row? Were you up close or kind of, or
around the main floor, probably back about 30 rows. But so at this time at the show, there's not one person got out of their seat. This was, I don't know if it was the concert etiquette that you did not get out of your chair. I don't care what song he was playing or what he was doing. Nobody got up. So
we've lost that.
Oh yeah, I know. So I was so enamored. I had my little Brownie camera with me.
Oh gosh.
Nothing sounds like old when you're talking about owning a Brownie camera.
Yes, exactly. Taking the film to Walgreens.
So I decided I'm going to get up and go down and take some pictures. So I walked down the front. The stage was probably about chest level on me. No security, no guards, nobody up but one kid. His name was Ron Olson.
Oh, my goodness.
So on the Brownie camera, you had to look down in it and then find your subject and then snap the pictures. So I'm in the center stage. I'm looking through my viewfinder trying to find him. And out of nowhere, I look up. He's standing. He's over to me, like 6 feet from me, and is like pointing at me. And pointing the guitar at me and doing all these posing shots for me, right? I'm clicking and clicking. Again, the only person out of their seat at the show, which that took some yin yang.
Yeah, it took some. Yeah.
So anyway,
tell me you still have those pictures.
No, that's a sad story. I
Oh.
think about them all the time. When you're a kid, you put all that stuff into an old cigar box
Yeah.
and you're somewhere with your collectible baseball cards.
Right.
One day when you go off to college or somewhere, you kind of forget about them and you don't realize the importance of them, and they go away. But so then later on, a few years later, later on in the 70s, he came and did a show at the Coliseum. And I think, I think the James Gang, Joe Walsh and them opened for him. And he was so out of it. I didn't really understand what was going on with him. But there was a lot of blue lights and he was playing a lot of blues and really down. Where's the fire? And let me stand next to your fire. And I was like, what? I came home. Something's wrong with Jimmy. It didn't seem felt good.
Jimmy tripping.
It might have been tripping. So anyway, I got to see him twice. So I always thought it was an honor to
That's pretty cool.
Be in his breathing the same air that he's breathing.
Yeah.
Another story I wanted to tell you about was it had to do with a guy named Elvis Presley.
That little Elvis.
Little Elvis. When I was a kid, I lived in Oak Haven, and of course Elvis was in Whitehaven, and I used to take swimming lessons at Thomas B. Davis YMCA, which is over on now, I guess, Elvis Presley Boulevard, but I guess I don't know what it was called. So I'm going to a swimming lesson. We pull by the front of Graceland. I'm in the car with my mom, and I see the gates are open. I look up, and there's Elvis and Priscilla sitting on horses, this Palomino horse, which is gorgeous. And Priscilla had the black hair, beehive thing, and her eye.
Right.
And so I said, let me rush. So she pulled across the street. I ran across the street, went through the gate. There's one or two people in there talking to him. There wasn't a crowd. There was no security, nothing, right? So I'm sitting there and I'm listening to the couple talk to him about something. And I'm thinking to myself, boy, I wish I had something he could autograph. And lo and behold, the lightning bolt hit me and said, oh my God. And I'm like 9 years old. I've got, in my wallet, a photo of Elvis Presley.
Oh my goodness. What's the odds?
It's your first wallet you have when you die.
Right.
And my neighbor had worked at a photography studio, and she told me earlier that she had some pictures that she, when people took their photos, that they would develop and everything. So they had a whole bunch of, she made a bunch of copies of this black and white photo of Elvis. And it was a classic because it was him on a Harley leaning up against it with a leather jacket on. It was just like, like the coolest picture you've ever seen.
Yeah.
So I put it in my wallet, and and so all of a sudden it dawned on me that I've got a picture of him on my wallet. I mean, how many kids?
Yeah.
About the center one.
That, and they run into him on a horse.
Right.
Yeah.
So I took it out, and I'd forgotten that in my own little 9-year-old handwriting, I'd already written to Ron, your friend Elvis, on the back of it. So I give him the picture. He looks at it and kind of starts smiling. He flips it over and starts laughing out loud when he saw it or he signed it. He signs it right on top of it,
Yeah.
and gives it back to me, and which was really cool that he did that.
Oh, sure.
And so then that goes in the cigar box or the Jimmy Hendrix.
Wait, any conversation? Elvis say anything? Or thank you, kid. Thank you very much.
He did. I wasn't. I was starstruck.
Yeah. Wow. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So that was a great Elvis moment. Then, I was on the radio the day that he died. Basically broke the news to the world that Elvis Presley, Memphis, Tennessee, was dead. And it was an unbelievable day. I was working afternoons on an F100, and we have the old bat phone, the hotline in the control room. And it started ringing, and I would give the number out to my friends and stuff, and I answered the phone, and I to this day don't know who it was, but somebody worked at Baptist in Union, and were screaming in the phone, Elvis is dead. They just wheeled him in here. Elvis is dead. I'm like, what? He goes, Elvis Presley. They just brought him in from Graceland. He's dead. And I'm like, God, you're kidding. A few minutes later, one of the news guys comes running down the hall, white as a ghost. I'll never forget Steve Thomas. He kept busting in the control room. And at the same time, I looked at him and said, Elvis is dead. He said he had a bunch of papers in his hand. It was like a scene out of a movie, you know. And he said, sit down and get on the mic. Let's go. And we kind of basically broke the story. And that was in the afternoon, like at 3:30 or 4, something like that. Stayed at the station till midnight or 1, answering calls from all over the world. Because again, no social media and people. And we did stations in Germany and Mexico on the BBC, and so we talked to people forever. Crazy day, you know.
Everybody knows where they were at when they heard the news.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
So a couple of days later, Sidney Mendelson, one of our sales guys, he was like one of my running mates. We decided that, you know, this is a big moment. We got to go out to Graceland. We got to drive out there to see what's going on. So it's chaos. It's thousands of people out there. So we're driving down Elvis Presley Boulevard, down the turning lane, the middle turning lane, to get around all the traffic. So we're trying to get there, and I'm literally thousands of people everywhere. Police are going crazy. All of a sudden, this cop sees us and comes after us because we're going down the turning lane. We pull in the parking lot next door to Graceland. The guy gets out of the car and he was kind of upset with us and he goes, oh, okay, we're going to fly around. Go have fun. So then we run over there, and Sheriff Gene Barks, the column by the gates of Graceland, smiling Gene. We walk up in the crowd. He looks at me and Sidney and tells the officers, let those two in. Come on.
Oh, no.
So we get to go through the gate, and we stand there with about, you know, it's chaos, right?
Yeah.
Like we're with all the national media people from every magazine you can imagine that was big back then, and TV people. And so we are some of the first ones to go see the body lying in state.
Really?
You know, he was in this coffin. The front doors of Graceland were open, and he was laid out there.
Now, he was a pretty big boy, right? At the end?
It was pretty big. Yeah, he was pretty big. So anyway, so we start going up there, and they're going to let us go by. And I guess kind of you walk up all the way up to the front door there, and there's a line of us, and you look at them, and you kind of see it and pay your respects, and then you just move on. They want you to keep moving, kind of look and go.
Right.
So it was one of those things where we walked past it, and I looked, I said, I don't remember. People are going to ask you 50 million things. Would he have rings on, wearing? So we got halfway back, and I thought, I didn't pay attention. I need to go back up there again. So I just got back to the line and went back up.
No cameras probably, right?
No, they wouldn't let you do anything.
Yeah.
Of course, there were no cell phones. So they were real. So when I got back up there, I heard a couple of the mafia guy go, he's been through already.
Yeah.
So, okay.
So
I know there's some tension going on. I'm going to go ahead and go.
So was he, how much of his jewelry was he wearing, if you can remember?
Yeah, I don't remember. I'm sure a couple of big rings and stuff on there.
TCB ring and all that.
Yeah. Had I been able to get a photo, though, the National Enquirer would have told us they would have paid us a whole lot of money.
I bet.
God, but I didn't want to mess with everything. So that was a pretty big day. That was around the world. I mean, it was incredible. And
people forget too, you know, they took him to his original place of burial and they had to move him.
Yeah. They were going to try to kidnap.
Yeah.
It was a big plot that, you know, to kidnap Elvis.
Yeah.
Man, it was mayhem. And I think to this day that one of the statistics that I always remember is that it was the largest amount of flowers in the history of the flower business.
Really?
To ever be sent anywhere at one time for any occasion.
Wow.
And I think it still holds the thing with FTD. It was amazing. If you can imagine, people sent it from all over the world.
Oh, sure.
It was a celebrity.
I can remember watching all that on TV, you know, it's just, as a kid, I was 12 probably, and almost 13, I guess. But anyway, you knew how important Elvis was, although I kind of missed the prime of him as growing up, but still, if you lived in the city, you knew how important he was.
One other weird, crazy story. Fast forward to 1970, my buddies and I in high school decided that we were going to, Kung Fu fighting was out, and Kung Fu was on television, I think. It was a new fad. So we all signed up for karate lessons at Connery Studios.
Oh,
right
no.
So we would go over there, and then so Elvis was in his prime. It's like he was in great shape, looked like $1 million. So we would go there, and a lot of times there'd be like 3-car, big white limos
Oh,
out in front of the studios with Mastery. And so we go in there, and he's in there. I mean, Red West, Sonny, all of them are in there, all the whole crew. And Elvis is, probably one of the best looking guys in the world.
oh, absolutely.
Great shape, and he's got his karate outfit on. It's like he looks like a superhero.
Oh, wow.
So the minute he showed up or whatever, he's in there, and this happened a bunch. Everybody in the karate lesson was kicking higher and harder, and you're like you kind of got jacked up. Back then we were fans of Elvis, but we were more into Deep Purple and Grand Funk and
Sure.
and other genres. But we did respect and understand what he was doing. And one of the jokes I tried to do all the time was I always tell my buddies that I'm going to go up and grab him from the back and just spin him around and try to see what he can do, like get those square off with him a little bit. So I would walk across the room. I'd walk up right behind him. And just before, they're like, you're not going to do it. I'd go right up there, and I turn around for the last second. All that died. Laughing. You taking shit? I said, no, I'm all right. Watch this time. I'm going to go do it. And I don't at the last second. And I regret not having done that.
Oh, goodness.
I was hoping, if you get in a fight with him, he'll knock you out cold. I said, you know what? That's true, but I will have a great story to tell for the rest of my life.
You're already thinking about stories at that age, man.
I know, exactly. I mean, that would have been a good one.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna put my life in danger, but man, that'll be a great story.
it would be.
Yeah.
It's all about the story.
Oh, yeah. You got to have a story.
I know it.
Where
So
would we be without stories these days? Good night.
You all feel me keep going on with more stories.
Oh,
There's
gosh. Yeah.
one of my favorite moments was this episode with the Rolling Stones back in 77, 78, when they released their Some Girls album, and the song Miss You was on there. It's one of the best albums they ever did. And so we were playing it at the radio station at F100, and it wasn't getting any attention. The song, I remember a guy named Tim Riley was a record rep, and he was saying, his music director, and he's going, man, this song is so good, but nobody's paying attention to the Stones. It's the Rolling Stones. So we started talking about it in the old days of radio. The DJs would get on, and if they really felt good about something crazy, they would play it over and over and over, like
Oh,
6
sure.
or 7, whatever, to get attention of the song. So I said, you know what? That's a good idea. I think we're going to do that. So I called my program director and said, let's put this together. It'll be a good stunt. And he said, okay, I'll run with you on it. Let's go. So they got on the air, and I played it about 5 or 6 times. I kept playing it over and over and going on about how great it was. And ladies and gentlemen, the Rolling Stones are back, and this is a big moment. So then he came in and told me, stop playing it. We're okay, move on. Then I play it again, play it again. So finally came in and relieved me and said, you're going to be officially suspended for a while and go. So I went home. He did the rest of the show. This was in the afternoons. And he said, well, then he called me at house. He said, all right, I thought about it. And if you really want to get back on the air here, you got 2 options. And we're doing this on the radio. And I said, what are they? He goes, either get Mick Jagger to call me, or 500 signatures on a petition saying why you and the whole city of Memphis loves the Rolling Stones.
Let me guess
So
which one you picked.
Well, I went with the petition to get
Okay.
500. And I thought, how can I make that happen? So without checking with the record company, I said, I'll tell you what we're going to do. The next 500 people that come to the radio station, I'm going to give you a brand new copy of the Rolling Stones Some Girls album.
Wow.
And so, right now. And so within a matter of an hour or so, 500 people line up in Channel 5. You hear what I'm saying? Not 10 or 50, but
500.
500.
Now,
Right.
did you happen to have 500 copies of it laying around?
No, we did not.
That'll issue number 2.
So when the record company didn't know about it either, so we were really taking a
Yeah, just a little.
So we tell everybody, sign your name, address, all this stuff on this list, keep it going. And everybody got the album somehow. I don't know how it happened, but they did. So the record company found out about it. They got all excited because we were actually excited about the Stones, and I found out later that the Stones thrive on a little controversy. They love stuff like this.
Mm.
The story had so many twists and turns. So the record rep wanted to get an air check, a tape of what we did and all that. And, with the comeback and the announcement and the 500 albums, sent it to Atlantic Records. Atlantic Records sent it to Woodstock, New York, where the Stones were rehearsing for their big tour, which did not include Memphis. So, I mean, they're rehearsing, so it's like showtime. They're about to go out. They take the tape, they play it for him in the Woodstock. They put it on at the sound system at the studio they're rehearsing it, right? So they all got to hear it. Blah, blah, blah. It was crazy. Atlantic Records loved it. And they said, we'll be glad to give you 500 albums. Make it all happen.
Yes.
And then after all that craziness, I went out of town on vacation for a week, and I got a call from Bob Kelly, who was the Mid-South Concerts promoter. He said, the manager for the Stones is going to call you when you get back on the air Monday. So record it, because we're going to do a special press conference. He has something very important he wants to tell you.
Oh, no.
So we recorded at 2:00, and he's calling in. Hello, Ron. This is Peter Rogers. How are you? I said, I'm great, man. He said, I understand you like the Stones. And I said, I do like the Stones. Understand you got yourself in a little trouble. I said, yeah, it was kind of crazy. He goes, well, Ron Olson, I want you to go on the radio right now and tell everyone that the Stones are coming to the Mid-South Coliseum on such and such a date. This is 1978. And
oh, no.
the tickets are on sale right now. So we taped it. The next day they had a press conference. They had a radio sitting on a table, and all the TV cameras are there, and they film, because this is pre, any kind of internet
Oh,
stuff.
sure. Yeah.
So anyway, they played the thing back, and it was a big deal. The Stones were coming to Memphis after all, and the tickets went on sale. They sold out, 12, 13,000 tickets, 14,000, whatever it was, in no time. And so then it was a big buzz, right? So then the story has a couple more twists to it. They invite me to the concert. I got the couple of pictures made. This one picture, it's kind of my probably picture of me and Mick Jagger. Looks like we're about to kiss.
Yeah.
We never exchanged.
I think I've seen that somewhere.
It's out there, black and white.
Yeah.
So then I got to go to the show, got to get pictures made with the Meet 'em All. Back in 78, those guys were in their prime.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
They were really going. And so then they gave me a gold record, which is really cool,
Wow.
hanging upstairs in the wall. Then to cap it all off, this long story. Yeah. When I sat down to watch the show, it's just before the show started, this lady and this guy were coming down my road. They were sit right next to me. It's like, excuse me. And then they sit down. You're kind of like, excuse me. And they sit down like, son of a gun. It's Tina Turner.
Oh,
Sit right next to me.
the burner, Tina Turner?
Tina Turner, the Tina Turner.
Oh, the legs and all, huh?
Right. And she was like, this was prior to her big, massive comeback. But
She wasn't with
was-
Ike at that point, I don't think, was she?
no, she was with somebody.
Ike messed up bad.
He did. So anyway, so that was pretty cool. Then later you find out that Mick Jagger says that all of his dance moves and all of his gyrations all emanated from watching Tina Turner. And
Did he recognize her in the audience?
no, he did not.
Oh,
Did not mention it, but they did go. And I think it was the show that Furry Lewis opened for the Stones.
oh, good.
And for whatever reason, he was hammered before. And so they brought him out on the stage. Two people put him in a chair and carried him out on a chair and set him down on the stage to do the show, because somebody snuck him some whiskey backstage, and he got drunk before the show.
Good night.
Right. So
Only in
Those are-
Memphis.
that's pretty good ones right there.
Those are good ones. I was like, God, you tricky. Did you ever get to talk to Tina Turner at all, or just kind of she got up and left? or-
I just kind of like, you don't want to be you don't want to be too trying to act cool, but hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
How you doing? How's it going? Oh, look at you. Look who's. No, but it was a pretty magical night. It
Yeah, I
was pretty-
bet. Now,
so
how
it's
many
funny.
how many
Stuff like-
concerts did you get to kind of announce? Usually a radio guy comes out a lot of those concerts.
We
Yeah,
did a bunch of
I bet you
them.
did.
back in the day, that was kind of commonplace. Your station would sponsor
Right.
an event, or Rock 103 would sponsor an event. I think I got to one time introduce Fleetwood Mac at the Coliseum, which is big. Bruce Springsteen, first time he came to Memphis, he played the Auditorium North Hall. The North Hall downtown was like the seats 4,000 people.
Okay. Intimate, as we say.
It's a great place to see a show. It was like a great big version of the Orpheum. So anyway, he comes to town. A couple of crazy events happened. A couple of days that he was here. One, he climbed over the wall at Graceland and ran up to the door, and Elvis was still alive, ran up to the door and knocked on the door to see if he was home.
Yeah.
And, I mean,
Of course he did.
and which was true, he wasn't. Then he had lunch at the Cupboard Restaurant on Union Avenue,
Uh-huh.
the original location. He goes in there and he pays for lunch with $100 bill.
Mm.
Well, the owner at the Cupboard thinks this guy in a blue jean jacket, shorts, or not shorts, but blue jeans and a blue jean jacket, kind of funky, rough looking kid. Where did he get $100 bill? They called the cops because he thought it was probably counterfeit. And of course it wasn't. So go to the show, and I'm telling you, it was a religious experience to see him. And I had a friend of mine, Tim Farr, who was started in radio with me at UT Martin. I went to high school with him. He was one of these guys who was way ahead of everybody else musically. He was the guy that, was way on Springsteen before a lot of people were. And so he's telling me how big the show was going to be. So go to the show. It's incredible. It's like still one of my top 2 shows of all time. I go backstage after the concert, and there's nobody back there, but it's me and Bob Kelly from Mid-South Concerts. And we're just standing around talking. I'm like, man, that was a great show. Oh, God almighty. Wow. And imagine Springsteen in the 70s when he was a kid, how energetic with Clarence Clemens and everybody. So he, all of a sudden, we're sitting there talking. Here comes Springsteen. He's already jumped in the shower and dried off. So he comes out, no shirt on, wearing blue jeans, wet hair, drying his hair off with a towel, and shakes hands, says hello, and we talk about radio and his show and all that kind of stuff. So then, over on the side over there, but that I didn't notice earlier, was a couple. Guy wearing a baseball cap and looked like his girlfriend or wife or something. They started kind of coming over slowly while me and Bob and Bruce were talking, right? And so this guy comes over, takes his hat off, shakes his hair down. It was Bob Seger.
Oh, no.
Bob Seger and his wife. And so if I only had a camera, Bob Seger, Bruce Springsteen.
Where's that brownie when you need it?
Yeah, I know. And I wish I'd had, it was a big deal because I think Seger was red hot. And I think he was coming to see for the first time what all the hubbub was about this guy named Springsteen.
But he didn't live in, maybe he's out of Detroit, right? If I remember right. But
yeah, he
so
was.
what was it? I guess he just picked a place and came, where they were playing.
Go see this guy. And,
That picture, you say that, and you're right. You should have been great to have a camera, because what's the odds of that group of people being together?
Right. It's
outside of Photoshop, it don't happen.
Now, that's truly one of my favorite moments. Something like that happened.
You get to talk to Seeger at all?
Yeah, but again, you're kind of like trying to be cool.
Oh.
Yeah, didn't get an autograph. I should have had a picture, but it's in the brain here. Quick one, because back in the 70s, early goes the radio thing. I got to know all these guys, like Carl Perkins. Got to be pretty good friends with Carl. We'd occasionally add one of his songs. When they did that Class of 55 reunion thing, we played a couple of the songs about it and got to be friends with him. Carl Perkins, again, when you look back on one of the greatest hip rockabilly superstars right here with Elvis. So Paul McCartney comes to do the Liberty Bowl. And
Now, how many concerts have been done in the Liberty Bowl that you know of?
There's
Not
been
many.
about five
really?
or six.
Okay.
Yeah. And maybe when they get the thing redone, they'll be able to do it. And you know why they don't do them anymore?
Well, I heard one reason. What did you hear?
Because of the construction of the stadium. You can't move all that stuff in and out of there the way it's built. So now that they're remodeling it, they're going to be able to bring in Taylor Swift and some other big act.
Right.
You're going to see that coming. So anyway, we go to the show. It's Paul McCartney, and it's a big deal. And so we go to the show, and I think I was with a friend of mine, Lisa Brown, and maybe Kelly Cruz. The three of us, we were just all walking around in the back, behind stage, really, and where all the trailers were and all that. But nobody was really around. It was just like weird. I thought you figured there'd be tons of people moving and grooving and going everywhere, but it wasn't. So we're walking around, and I look up, and I see Carl Perkins and Paul McCartney talking to each other. So Carl's kind of facing us, and Paul's got his back to us. So we're standing there, and we're going, "Oh my God, that's it! That's Carl Perkins and Paul right there." And we're like probably about 30 feet away, and I see Carl kind of look over Paul's shoulder. He says, "Hold on, Paul. Ron Olson, Ron, how you doing?
Oh my goodness,
what are you doing, man?" And he stops and comes over and lets Paul stand there for a minute. Over and says, "Man, it's so good to see you. I've been missing you." And I introduced him to everybody. He's just, and again, we're super starstruck. We're like, "Don't leave your guy. Hey, it's good to see you. Get back, get over." And instead of saying, "Can you please introduce us to Paul?" Which was great, didn't do that. And then again, a moment where you don't have a camera, as I look up, he's walking to the stage. He's opening for Paul. So he's walking to the stage, just the two of them, arm in arm. And you can just imagine like a black and white picture of them going tunnel.
Good.
They go on stage. And it was one of those things where, you really love Paul McCartney that much more because he really and truly respects and adores and admires, all the groundwork that Carl Perkins laid for America. Pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty. So did you have some that didn't go so well, maybe?
Concert-wise?
Yeah. What do you think? Yeah, just something blew up or something. Not physically, but
I don't know.
somebody's just rude and nasty, not nice.
No, I don't, the only thing that was weird was I don't know if I told you about the Kiss concert.
No, no. You mentioned it the other day you were going to talk about it.
By the way, I just did some research. Kiss played Lafayette's Music Hall, right?
Yeah, with Billy Joel.
No, he didn't play with Billy Joel, but Billy Joel played there too. So anyway, I go to the Kiss concert. This is like just about the time Star Wars has come out. And I go dressed as Darth Vader to the show. And I'm out walking around. I'm walking around in the whole ground floor of the Coliseum. Crowd is going crazy. They're ready for the superstars to come out. And then all of a sudden this guy stops and these two guys push me up against the wall downstairs. And they tell me, "Who are you? What are you doing? What's going on?" Really like two thug kind of dudes. And I'm like, "Hey, I'm just a DJ. I'm Ron Olson." And they go, what are you supposed to be?" I said, I'm Darth Vader.
Can't you tell?
Darth Vader. I mean, this was a great Darth Vader outfit. He goes, "Well, I'll tell you right now, Kiss ain't coming out until you get out of here." You're scaring the shit out of him. I said, "Wait a minute." I started laughing. I said, "You telling me I'm scaring the peep out of the kids?"
You're probably the only one that ever did.
I know. It was crazy. So that was kind of fun.
So you didn't get to talk to them at all? Explain the whole mess?
Never did. We did some radio interviews with them later, but never got to see them that night.
They probably played Memphis several times, I would imagine, during the years.
Memphis loved them. And they were so cool that when they played Lafayette, when their first album came out, I can remember looking at the cover. I don't want to see these guys. What is this? So I gave my tickets to my brother, who the Kiss,
Now, how many people would at that point in time would Lafayette Room hold?
About 200. The same thing, the Billy Joel stories go on forever because he basically started, hanging around with FM100 and when he's just a kid, like I said, back in the 70s, I was music director. So Billy, when he came by, he would come by the station and we interviewed him, like, "Hey, what's going on, Billy? Hey, all that kind of stuff."
Wow.
Then a few months later, he'd come play again. And so you're like, "Okay, hey, Billy, come on up." Then the third time, a couple of months after that, he came back and he was like, this receptionist downstairs at TV5 goes, Ron, Billy Joel's in the lobby to talk to you. And I'm like, not again. Like, what does he want?
Jeez.
Okay.
Come
tell him
on.
to knock
Jeez.
it down.
Oh my gosh.
So that was one of those cool stories. It really,
Is he pretty cool?
he was very cool.
Yeah.
I think he got a little jaded as life went on, but back then he was very grateful. And that's when that Piano Man album was out. It
All
was
right.
So that's really it started. Same thing with so many artists in there, like Barry Manilow was big, he's huge. He got to start at Lafayette's, and
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah, FM100 supported him. If you look up right now, go online and pull up Ron Olson, Olson, and Barry Manilow. The first thing that's going to pop up, you're going to see a picture of me and Barry Manilow.
Is that
And actually, the picture that they put up is me interviewing him at WLYX back in the Rhodes College days. So it was it was fun. So
wow?
a lot of great stories. I mean, lots of fun stuff, man. The cool thing about being in radio is enabled you to go places and see things and do stuff that, you would have never had the opportunity to do before. Another quick story for you, and I'll shut up. I know that.
Oh no! You can go on forever here. I am looking at your picture now, the official picture
Right.
here. Of you and Barry at WLYX on April the
Yeah,
19th.
Yeah, and Barry's smoking a cigarette, I think.
Maybe, yeah, one of them is. But yeah,
Nothing.
the nose never
So-
got smaller though, so that's jeez.
So years ago, Steve and I, the whole crew, we got to go to Amsterdam to broadcast. This is back when Northwest Airlines was really, kicking butt, and it was a big hub here and all that. And life was good. So we get to go over there and we stay at the Americade Hotel. And I guess the time difference, we were doing our morning show like at noon or 1 o'clock in the afternoon, something like that. Amsterdam was beautiful, was cool. We were really honored to be there. So the first night we get there, it's a 6 or 7 hour flight, I guess, and kind of tired, but we're ready to go. We don't want to waste any time. So it's me and Steve and a couple of engineers with us. So we hit the town. We just go out immediately to go see what Amsterdam's all about. So about 2 o'clock in the morning, we come rolling back in, maybe 1:30 or 2. We open the doors to the American Hotel. These big, 20-foot doors. You just open them, come in the side door, and we hit Jerry Lee Lewis with the door. He had just done a concert that night in Amsterdam, and in the room was about probably 25, 30 fans. He was just answering their questions and stuff. They're all wearing like Sun Records t-shirts, which is really cool. So that when we kind of bump into Jerry, and we know Jerry, his wife, and they all turn around in shock to see me and Steve from Memphis, what y'all doing here? They were like, what are we doing here? What are you doing?
Oh my gosh.
And I only known he was going to be there that night, we would have gone to the show. Anyway, they were all tickled to death, and he introduced us as, Ron Steve from Memphis and big DJs and la, 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 la. So we're doing our first broadcast the next afternoon. So we asked J.W. Witten and Jerry Lee, can you come by and be on the show? How cool would this be from Amsterdam? Jerry Lee Lewis on the show with us the very first day. I said, it does not get any bigger or better than that. Sure enough, next afternoon, next show's our first broadcast. Here comes Jerry Lee Lewis. He's staying at the hotel. He comes down and sits down and is on the air with us for about 15 or 20 minutes or more, just talking about the show and his life and career and all that, which is pretty special, right? So then he's got to go catch a plane. So we go back to doing our show. And then about an hour later, this guy comes running upstairs frantically, and he's going, Mr. Lewis is at the airport. They're holding the plane until he gets his black bag. Is this black bag here? We're like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I look on the table and goes, well, they're just right here. The whole time it's right here. This one. Yeah, that's the only black. That's got to be it. We go, okay, well, great. They held the plane up. They would not let it take off until he got the bag in his hands. I don't know who has the power to hold up a
Not
flight,
many.
but he did. And then the question was, what was in the bag? It's always been a mystery. Was it, was it drugs? Was it money? And
you're in Amsterdam. What could it be?
I know. One of the guys said it was probably money because he promised, he said that when he does shows like that, you pay in cash.
Oh,
In there, you don't pay in a check. You don't put it on a card. You pay in cash for people like him. So God knows how much money was in there, but it was pretty funny that we managed to actually admit he noticed it and he got it recovered and got it.
amazing. What's the
back
odds of all that happening?
I know that was a great Memphis moment. That was really good. I always thought about it as being one of the fun things ever. That was a great moment. Man, it was fun.
I bet. Were there just some people maybe you met you didn't have a whole lot of expectation for, and ended up being just blew your mind?
Also, there was back in the heyday of things, the radio.
Right.
Believe it or not, Ozzy Osbourne, Black Sabbath.
Oh, jeez.
They came to the station one day and hung out with us, and I got a
Were
great.
they sober?
Yeah, they were. They're
Okay.
pretty cool. Van Halen, the very first time they came,
Ah,
the whole band, Eddie, David Lee Roth, all up,
yeah.
came up to FM 100 and hung out in the afternoon, and it was really cool, to see them. And we got a couple of pictures of that. Leonard Skinner came to the station one afternoon. It was fun hanging out with them.
I mean, if they hang out, they just hang out in the studio and they'll talk and get on
Talk, and they just
get on the air and talk and all that stuff. Oh,
Billy Joel was one of the regulars of band Boston. That was so funny about them. Their first album was such a smash. Second album was, highly anticipated. And they came to Channel 5. We were up on the second floor at the radio. And they were the guy said, Boston's downstairs. I said, what are you talking about? The band? Yeah, they're all downstairs. I said, doing what? He said, they're shooting a video. So I go down there. And they have a giant net set up in the studio, like a massive 40-foot net thing. And they're filming a video for them because that's when the videos are really big.
okay.
And they're going to be throwing a couple of guitars into this net, looking at the camera and slinging the guitars in the net somehow. So, I said, well, hey, you guys want to come upstairs? And I said, you're a pretty big act, and we're playing the poop out of your stuff. And so they came up and we got some great pictures with them, and that was kind of a cool bit. And that was good. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, got to meet Tom.
Wow.
John Scott was one of our early DJs back in the late 60s who was the Pied Piper of FM radio. And he quit the radio business, started working for MCA Records. And he single-handedly, you can thank him every day of your life for making Tom Petty what he was today.
Mm.
He loved Petty. The record companies weren't that tickled with it, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And Tom went all over the country with Tom Petty. John all over the country promoting it, got it boom. And suddenly it kind of took off and went crazy. I got a chance to go see him in Atlanta at the Fox Theater.
Mm.
Tom Petty, Blondie, and Genesis. Tom Petty was the opening act. So I can't go into great details about this because I just can't about what's going on. But it was really fun. I had a good one-on-one with Tom, and then also Genesis was red hot back then.
Oh yeah, I saw them in Indianapolis at the RCA Dome.
Yeah, a guy named Phil Collins was the leader of the pack.
Absolutely.
And so-
He's a drummer. It always
He
killed
was.
me. Guys who are drummers and lead singers, it to me was amazing.
I think they had two drummers back then,
Yeah.
but it was a spectacular laser show. Oh my
Mhm.
God, lasers! They've got lasers. Oh, Lord.
Look at that.
So anyway,
ball.
after that show, we went downstairs, had a kind of a hangout with Genesis and the band. And that's another thing I can't really tell great detail. That was a pretty good night. Hanging with Tom Petty and Phil Collins all in one night's a pretty good night.
That's not a bad night.
I wanted to tell you,
Did you not have the brownie then either?
I did not. I refused to answer any questions.
You didn't want
but-
evidence. I got you.
Stevie Wonder story. Now, I worked there from 79 through 80. I was the afternoon guy and program director, and probably, some of the most fun I've ever had in my life, because that was the disco time.
Oh yeah, Donna Summer, baby, bring her on.
All that stuff was huge, right? And I was actually telling everybody I was in the delivery room when hip hop was born. Rap music came around with just the Sugar Hill Gang.
Oh
and
yeah,
all that. That's
I know
weird.
about half that song. I have the album upstairs still.
I know. And so there was so many great Stevie Wonder. plays Mid-South Coliseum, and this is like 1980. And Al Green, I think Rufus Thomas, all of them are there. It's a big show, and sold that. This is going to show you the power of a radio station back then. So after the concert, get on the phone there, and I called the station to do like an after concert thing. So, you want the station to play Stevie Wonder songs, all that kind of stuff. So I got on the phone. I said, "Oh my God, I'm so sky high from how amazing Stevie was." Get on the phone and say, "Look, all right, we're going to do something special. And I know everybody's in their car heading home right now from the show, but to show Stevie Wonder how much love you have, how much the city loves him, I want you to get on your car horn right now. I want you to honk it, and I want you to lay on it, and don't stop until I tell you." So all of a sudden, from inside the Coliseum,
Oh, wow.
here, like the walls of Jericho come tumbling down. It's the loudest noise. If you can imagine 12,000 cars all honk at the same time in unison. And I'm going, "Come on, louder, louder. Let me hear you."
He's
He kept it.
he's blind. Play it louder.
I know. So
What?
finally, out of nowhere, I look up, and here comes Stevie and his entourage out of their dressing room. And they're going, what the hell's going on? What is all that? And I said, "Hey, just called in the radio station. I tell people if they really like the show to lay on their horns." And they were like blown away by it.
Oh, wow. I bet Stevie
And I
still
drove
tells that
home.
story.
I drove home that night thinking, that was a pretty popular radio station. Got it going on. We don't need ratings. I think I got the rating book. It looks really good.
Yeah, that probably turned out real well for you. Oh, my
So,
goodness. What a great thought.
yeah, I know. It was cool.
Perfect timing.
All right. Well, that's all I got. My voice is about to go away. I don't know how much longer people can stand me talking.
We've done 55 minutes, so and it goes by quick, by the way.
It does. It really does.
Yeah, it does. But yeah, well, we got to do the radio stuff at some point down the road here soon.
Yeah.
Then,
I've got next time we hook up on this, I'll tell you one really good story about several, but one in particular stands out as how I didn't get fired, how we didn't get arrested was just absolutely
is that in the
amazing.
same day?
Yeah, it all happened.
Oh, might as well.
I keep everybody suspense. Don't give them everything, but it's a great story.
I
So,
bet it is. You got a
yeah.
billion of them, man.
I know.
You and Bill Dance ought to get together. I tell you, different
Oh
kind
my
of stories,
God.
but same thing. I could listen for hours.
I know.
Just wind you up and let you go.
Good. All right, now listen. Also, I want to mention my art thing.
Oh,
Anybody-
yeah.
And getting Ron Olson art originals are really good. You can go to Ron Olson Art or Ron Olson Memphis.
Okay.
Currently listen to me and my buddy Karen on 104.5 The River every single morning from 5 until 10. A lot of fun and a lot of music that you love. And I'm really proud to be working there. The station sounds like $1 million, and we're having fun. And the management kind of lets us do our thing, and they support us and cheer us on. So it's fun to work at a station like that. It really is.
Yeah. It's always good when you feel good about going to work.
I know. I can't wait to get in the
Yeah.
morning.
So, last thing, while remembering this thing, the last 3 or 4 people, I don't know why I didn't think about this way back, but I've got them. I don't know if I'm using the right lingo, but I call it a tagline. So
Yeah.
I've had they said, "Hey, this is Lynn, whoever, Kim Clark." And
Right.
I like listening to Memphis Mike and Friends. So whatever you can think of, I can use and just throw it out there, and I got it. I'll have it and play with it.
You got it. Hey, it's Ron Olson, and I hope you're having a good time listening to Memphis Mike and Friends. And just keep it on. Tell your friends about it. And Mike is a really good guy, and he pays all his bills.
There you go. That's good. I like it. Cut. Cut. Wow. Yeah. So I'm looking at I went to your website, man. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now, what got you into art? I mean, real quick, what got you into art? You always dabble in that, like in high school and everything, or?
No, never did. It's just like I had a friend of mine who owns a frame shop on Poplar, David's Frames,
Okay.
across from East High School. And for 20 years, I was going by there. Kind of his daughter and my daughter were best friends growing up together in Cordova. And so I go by there and just check on him, see how he's doing, play a lot of golf with him and stuff. And I go back and look in the back room to look at while he was doing the art he was working on, and it was fascinating to see what people, because he frames all the really good artists. So it was like going to a little mini museum.
Okay.
I went in there time after time after time, and finally he told me, "Look, you've got some kind of interest in this. Why don't you do something about it?" And I'm like, "What?" He goes, "I'm gonna give you a list of art supplies. Go buy these canvases, buy this, and that, just some color paintings. Just start." So I did. I tried it, and I painted. My first painting I always remember was, I called it Japanese Sunrise.
Why not?
So I looked at it, and then I thought, this is stupid. So I put the easel up, put the stuff up, and ignored it for a year. And then finally, I don't know what motivated me to get back into it again. Most of the drawings or paintings I do are all have to do with music, and they have to do with guitars. I bet I've done 250 different pieces since then.
Well, I'm looking at your studio, a picture of your studio, it looks like right now.
Yeah, the studio is really cool.
Well, man, you got some good stuff out there. I like the guitar stuff. That's good.
Yeah, it's one of my little specialties.
All right, buddy. Thanks.
All right, Brad. Thank you, Memphis Mike.
Have a good day.
Well, that's the one and only Mr. Ron Olson. Crazy bunch of stories. Had me laughing the whole time. From Elvis to Van Halen to Billy Joel to the Stones. Oh, my goodness. He was responsible for getting the Stones to come to Memphis. Who would have thunk it? But just a crazy, crazy career he's had here in Memphis. Fun guy to be around. I love talking to him. He's so much fun. So we do appreciate you listening to all of our podcasts. Please like our social media on Facebook, Instagram, and other places. Share it with your friends. Follow us on the Memphis Mike and Friends official Facebook page. We would appreciate that. That would help us out as well. And we hope you have a great week, and we'll talk to you again next week. See ya. Bye.
Well, we hope you enjoyed today's podcast. Maybe you met a new friend, learned something you didn't know, or just relaxed for a few minutes. We hope you join us next time on Memphis Mike and Friends as we look back, look around, and look ahead to all things Memphis. Until then, may God bless you as you travel life's highway.